Hey, what's good? So recently I was looking for some clothes, right? And I noticed that everything wasn't actually like cool design or something like that. It was just overly expensive compared to everything else. Like it doesn't matter if it's graphic tees, jeans, or even like sneakers. And all that made me think to myself, damn, I wish I could just like, do this myself. And then it hit me like, yeah, why don't I just do this myself? So in this video, I'll be taking this pair of sneakers and painting them myself because I'm too broke to buy a custom pair. Let's get it. Yeah, so making a shoe custom is something I've wanted to do for like a really long time. I've always seen like those, those posts of like, those cartoon Air Force Ones or those ones with anime characters drawn on them or whatever, or cartoon characters. They always look so cool to me, but I never wanted to go out and like buy one, because I was broke. I'm still kind of broke. So I was thinking, like, I don't imagine this is something like it's too hard that I couldn't do myself, you know what I mean? So I picked up those shoes and that's what we're gonna be doing today. So first we need to figure out what we're actually gonna paint on these things. Originally I was going to kind of paint a design inspired by this piece that I've done here. Actually, if you look closer, that's actually where my profile pic comes from. So yeah, I was gonna do something like that, but then I kind of decided it would be too busy, and I still wanted the shoe to be like majority white, you know what I mean? You feel me? So after looking through all the drawings I did, I found one that I really thought would make a good design. Specifically, like, how those sky backgrounds, I think I could do something with that, with the lecular. I'll show you what I mean. I got a mock-up here. I took some pictures of some shoes of the specific shoes I got from Google, and then I brought it into my drawing program. I think I used Procreate for this. Put those shoes on a multiply layer and then just drew everything I wanted to do there. So I think this is a good design, so I think that's what we're gonna go with. So for the actual stuff for the shoes, I looked up a bunch of tutorials, right? And it's funny, they all told me I need this specific paint, right? I think it was called Angelus paint. They all told me I needed Angelus paint. It's best for leather or painting shoes or whatever. Funny thing about that is I didn't want to buy that because I already spent money on the shoes, and I'm not trying to spend too much more money because there's a whole pack of them. So I'm just gonna use like regular acrylic paint. I don't know if that's a bad idea or not, but we'll see. The only thing I did get from Angelus is like this matte finisher. So when all the paint is done, it won't scratch off or whatever, you know what I mean? The only other stuff I need is acetone or a nail polish remover. What I did get are these paint markers for like 10 bucks. I thought it'd be easier for coloring in some of the line art. And what else did I get? What else do I have? I also got tracing paper, and I'll explain what that is for in a minute. But first, before I do all that, I don't want to just start on the shoes because again, these things were expensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this old shoe that my sister had. It doesn't fit her anymore. So I actually tried doing this before, as I probably mentioned before in the video. I tried doing these cartoon shoes before. As you can see, they do not look right at all. They look terrible, but I did not paint the other shoe, luckily, so I can use that as an experiment to see how I'm gonna do this for my shoes now. Yeah, so the basic process is pretty simple. All you're gonna want to do is get your graphic, whatever you want, on the shoe. Make sure it's flipped as well. That's gonna be important. Next, you're gonna want your tracing paper. You're just gonna want to put that over whatever you want to trace, right? So after you're done all that, the reason we wanted it flipped is because, once we put it on the shoe, we're gonna flip the actual piece of paper, so then it's flipped or the right way you wanted it on the shoe. So once we did that, what you're gonna do is take another pencil and kind of draw on the back of the paper, like really rapidly, to try to like get the pencil lead from the paper and transfer it onto the shoe, and then after that you can line it. I used pens or markers, I don't remember what I used. You can see in my example here that I did that, and then I just took the paint markers I was talking about before and I colored that in. And here's how the test shoe is looking. I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot better than I thought it would look. Obviously it needs a bit more coats of paint, but since this is just a test, I didn't really, think it was necessary, but this looks pretty good. So I think I'm ready to start on the actual shoes. So when it came to the shoes, the first step that I had to do was rub it in the acetone to kind of get rid of the finish. See, the shoes, when they're store-bought, right, they come with this factory finish that won't let the paint stick as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to rub it off with some acetone. Actually, The first step is taking the laces off, which you can see I forgot in this step, but so yeah, then the next thing is to rub off all the factory finish with some acetone. Now, the next step isn't actually tracing anything yet. You see, the design I came up with has a gradient background on the Nike swoosh, and I need to do that before I apply any of the line art. So what I did was tape up all the areas around the Nike logo so I wouldn't accidentally paint any other areas. Now, I'm gonna be real with y'all, I don't paint traditionally that much, so getting the gradient with physical paint was a little new for me. Luckily, I think I did I mean, these look enough like the layout to me. After peeling all the tape off, the next thing to do was get the line art on the shoe. Also, I'm just gonna do a disclaimer right now. I'm gonna apologize for the lack of good camera angles. I promise you I'll try to get closer shots, but the workspace was kind of cramped, or my face would get into frame, and I'm not trying to show that right now, so yeah, this is the best I could do. I already explained this process before, so I'm not gonna repeat it again. What I will say is that you make sure you got a steady hand while doing the liner, as I definitely messed up a couple times, I'm not gonna lie. After that came the painting, and that wasn't like too difficult. As I said, I bought some paint markers and I just mixed up all the colors I didn't have. What I will say is something you should try and use for the painting stage is a hairdryer. You're gonna be doing multiple coats of paint on these things, so using a hairdryer to make the paint dry faster can save you like a ton of time. Another thing that helped were toothpicks. See, like, I don't have small paintbrushes, so like, that's a lie, I got small paintbrushes, but like not small enough to the point where it's like a fine tip marker or something like that. Dipping paintbrushes in the paint and using that as a pen or a paintbrush helped a lot with making smaller details like the hair texture. I won't lie, this is a pretty repetitive process, so I don't got a lot to say other than you gotta have a lot of patience when doing this. Painting both of the shoes took me around 2 to 3 days, so get ready to be spending hours if you want to try this out. If you got a show you want to watch or a favorite creator you want to binge, these are probably the times to do it. Speaking of creators, if you're liking what you see so far, you should probably drop a sub. I'd really appreciate that. We just hit 5K subs and I cannot thank y'all enough. I'm trying to hit 10K by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate all the help and support I can get. Anyways, the paint is pretty much done and we really got like one more step to do. I took the acrylic finisher I talked about before and applied like 3 to 4 coats on it to make sure the paint doesn't chip off. Apparently I'm supposed to wait like 24 hours for these to finish sealing, so I'll show y'all the final product tomorrow. Or like, I guess a couple seconds for y'all, yeah.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no.
So yeah, I think these things turned out alright. I mean, they ain't perfect, there are definitely some things I'd change, but I mean, honestly, for my first real attempt at custom sneakers, these aren't bad. I think this is something I'd be interested in continuing, and not only with sneakers. I want to paint a t-shirt, but I'm kind of struggling with design ideas. If y'all like the video and would like to see me try and paint a t-shirt, leave a comment on what I should paint, because I'm not gonna lie, I got no ideas right now. Again, thank you all for 5,000 subs. I never would have expected that when I started the channel 6 months ago. I'd appreciate if y'all could sub if you're not already. It'd be crazy if we hit 10K by the end of the year. Other than that, I don't think I have much else to say. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Bye.